Welcome to my review of Marvel vs. Capcom 2 from the Marvel vs. Capcom Fighting Collection on the Nintendo Switch. If my gameplay appears to be that of a complete beginner, this is primarily due to delayed latency. I will fix that in the future once my channel gets a little bit bigger. Anyway, let's get started with the review. First, let's talk about looks. This game looks pretty good. It is a combination of both 2D and 3D. The 3D backgrounds in this game are all outdated by today's standards for 3D graphics, but keep in mind that this game was released on February 24 of the year 2000, so when comparing the 3D in this game to other games from that era, like The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask or Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2, you start to see that these 3D graphics look great by those standards. The only stage I would say looks iffy is the carnival stage. My main problem with it is the giant house in the middle that is shaped like a clown head. For me, it just looks a little too janky and sticks out like a sore thumb. Compared to some of the other 3D stuff in this game, like for example, the blimp in the clock tower stage, which blends in well, I would say the carnival stage could have put a bit more effort into trying to make the clown head blend in more with the environment. Even though the carnival stage is my least favorite stage, there are still many more stages from this game that I like. My favorite stages have to be the clock tower, swamp, and factory stage. Those stages did a great job with mixing both the 3D and 2D elements present in the game and are just really appealing to the eyes in my opinion. Moving on from the look of the stages, I want to talk about how the characters in the game look. All of the characters look great and have good animation. My only problem with the character sprites is that they are all almost reused from previous Marvel vs. Capcom games. Only the new characters that are introduced in this game are the ones that have original sprites, which are Cable, Marrow, Amingo, Sansan, Ruby Heart, Jill Valentine, and Trombone. These 7 new character sprites all look amazing and mesh well with the rest of the other characters in the game. The only thing I wish Capcom did was add more animation to all the reused character sprites, or at the very least, pose them differently in their idle animations. Other than that, I would say this game looks fantastic. The second thing I want to cover is something that is equally as important, which is sound. I have almost no complaints when it comes to the sound effects of this game. The sound effects for the supers in this game sound both powerful and exciting. The punch and kick sound effects are a little too basic for my liking, but they still get the job done. The announcer in this game sounds great. He has a lot of effects on his voice, which gives him a retro vibe. Even with all the effects on his voice, the announcer sounds like they are having a good time while delivering their lines, which for me is what makes an announcer great, because it makes the viewer feel like what they are seeing is being appreciated. I personally think the announcer is a perfect fit for the groovy and thrilling atmosphere that this game has. The music in this game is fantastic. All the stage themes are great. My favorite themes have to be the ones for the river, swamp, and desert stage. The desert and river themes are very upbeat and bombastic in their own unique ways. My favorite, the swamp theme, sounds more relaxed as well as nifty. I wouldn't say there are any stage themes or music that I dislike in this game, because all of them sound divine. Although I do know that some Marvel vs. Capcom fans don't really like the upbeat and jazzy music of this game and would have preferred a more serious tone. In my opinion, the upbeat and jazzy music fits this game very well, because this game is all about having a good time, so it's fitting that the music reflects that. The only thing I would have done differently is add a theme for all the 56 characters and then leave it up to the player to decide whether they want to listen to the character themes or the stage themes. Now that I have said what I think of the music in this game, the third thing I want to cover is the mechanics. In Marvel vs. Capcom 2, you can have a team of up to 3 characters. Every playable character in this game has 3 assists that you can choose from, which are all unique. I really like that every character has 3 assists because it allows for a lot of variety in the gameplay. The large quantity of assists to choose from also allows for multiple layups into combos that you will just have to discover as you play. The multiple assists really allow for players to have their own unique teams as well as experiences. The 3-character team system was also a great addition because if you are one of those players that mains more than one character, well, you will probably be able to play most of them at the same time. Some of the characters also have their own unique movement options. Most characters are limited to only being able to do one jump and being able to perform a grounded dash, while other characters are able to perform double jumps like Strider. Some characters can even triple jump like Chun-Li. Other characters can perform a one-way air dash like Spider-Man or Morrigan. A few characters perform an 8-way air dash, which means they are able to air dash in any direction no matter where they are facing. Dr. Doom is an example of a character with an 8-way air dash. The second to last special movement option is the wall cling, which is when a character jumps onto a wall and can climb up or down. Strider can also perform a wall cling. The last special movement option is flying, which characters like Iron Man or Storm can do. It is spectacular for me that some characters in this game have unique movement options because it keeps the game fresh and allows for replayability. Some of these movement options are also great for play, like for example, the triple jump that Chun-Li possesses allows her to perform extended combos in the air. The power of flight is also great for players that mostly just want to sit back and spam projectiles. The 8-way air dash, from what I hear, is great for rushdown characters. Really, almost all of these characters have a unique gimmick that can fit almost any gameplay style, which I really appreciate because it makes this game more enjoyable and inviting. 4 more mechanics I want to cover are Team Hyper Combos, Delayed Hyper Combos, Alpha Counters, and Snapback. Team Hyper Combos are performed by pressing the 2 assist buttons at the same time. This leads to all the characters in your team doing their own hyper combo at the same time and costs as many as 3 or 2 meters. The amount of meters you lose is determined by how many characters in your team are alive to perform their hyper combo. Delayed hyper combos are started by when you do a normal hyper combo and then in the middle of it you do another character's hyper combo, which leads to the character you are playing being switched to another character from your team, who then starts to do the hyper combo you inputted. Alpha counters are performed while blocking and performing an input and then pressing either the first or second assist button. This leads to the character you are playing being swapped with another character from your team. The last mechanic, which is Snapback, is performed by doing a quarter circle input and then pressing either assist button. If performed successfully, this will lead to your opponent's character being flung away and then switched out with another character from your opponent's team. The character that will appear once your opponent's character is flung away will depend on which assist button you press. In my opinion, these 4 mechanics are brilliant. Team hyper combos can be really useful as long as you pick the right team and assign them the right assist. I mostly perform team hyper combos when I just want to finish the match a little more quickly or when I already have an advantage. Delayed hyper combos are great. I don't really use them, but I can see circumstances where using it is probably more useful than team hyper combos because with delayed hyper combos, you have the ability to chain together basically all of your team's hyper combos if you are good enough. And the added advantage that it has over team hyper combos is that it allows you to switch out your character. Alpha counters are an amazing mechanic that I need to use more often because they are really useful when you are being bombarded with combos and need to switch to another character quickly. Snapback is pretty good. I only use it when I am having a hard time dealing with a character. The one thing I don't really like about this mechanic specifically is that it really only takes a few seconds for your opponent to switch back to the character they prefer. Overall, these 4 mechanics were a great addition and they make competitive play a little more interesting. Moving on from the mechanics, the 4th thing I want to go over is the controls, because it caught me off guard the first time I played this game. I played the Marvel vs. Capcom games that came before Marvel vs. Capcom 2, so when I finally got to this game, it took a little getting used to when it came to the controls. In order to activate medium punch and medium kick, you now need to press the light version of the attack button twice. Which means if I wanted to activate medium punch, then all I would need to do is press the light punch button twice. These new controls really made combos a lot easier for me to perform. Having the assists be mapped to their own 2 buttons also made calling assists a lot more easier and fluid. Dashing is still pretty much the same as the other games. You still need to flick the joystick 2 times in a direction in order to break into a dash, or hold either left or right and then press both the light and hard punch buttons at the same time. Even if you are not good at initiating a dash, you should still be able to do it easily because in the collection you can map the dash button to any button you want. Supers are also pretty much the same. To do one, you either do the input or press the hyper combo button. The controls in this game make use of literally every single button on your controller, which is something I really admire because for me it makes the experience feel more engaging due to the fact that I have to perform many actions in order to make the character in the game do something. The 5th thing I want to talk about is bugs and load times. When it comes to bugs, I would say this game is polished. I have encountered almost no bugs in this game. The only thing I have seen that I consider a bug is Spider-Man's maximum spider. Normally it does 5 hits when done successfully, but sometimes it only does 2 hits and doesn't follow up with the other 3. This could either be a bug or a sign that I just need to practice more with the character. Moving on from bugs, let's talk about load times. I have no complaints in this department either. It takes only a few seconds to get into the game and to get into a match, which is great, especially for the Switch. The 6th thing I want to cover isn't too important, but I feel like it's worth talking about anyway, which is length. Each match is only 99 seconds, but you can change this in settings by slowing or speeding up the timer. I personally like the fact that a match is 99 seconds, unless you and your opponent are playing extremely defensively and spamming assists or projectiles, then maybe you would need more time. Otherwise, 99 seconds is perfect for a game as chaotic as this. When it comes to the campaign, you can probably just beat it in one sitting. There's only one ending to this game, no matter what team you pick. My fastest time beating this game was in 26 minutes, so this game isn't too bad for a completionist. Speaking of the campaign, this leads to another segment on my review. The 7th thing I want to cover is the story. The story in this game is lackluster. From the research I have done, the story is only about Ruby Hart teaming up with the heroes and villains of Marvel and Capcom in order to defeat the final boss of this game, known as Abyss, who is trying to eradicate all of the plant life on Earth for whatever reason. Stories in fighting games are more like the cherry on top, so even though this game's story isn't too good, it will only take off 1 point. The last thing I want to cover is balancing. The balancing in this game isn't good. There are certain characters that are just too overpowered, like Cable, Sentinel, Magneto, and Storm. If your opponent chooses a team that only has overpowered characters like these, then you will probably lose if you're not playing a team that is a mix of A or B tier characters. It's not impossible to win with C or even D tier characters, but it is very difficult when you're up against a team filled with really strong characters like the ones listed above. To summarize everything I have said, this game looks good, has great music, controls just as well as the past Marvel vs. Capcom games, has many useful mechanics, is very polished, and is very replayable. Some of the negatives are that this game is very unbalanced and has a lackluster story. Overall, I would give this game an 8 out of 10. I highly recommend playing this game. If you made it to the end of my review, I want to say thank you very much. Another person I want to say thank you to is the sponsor of today's video, which is my dear friend Tarso C. Tarso, if you are watching this, thank you very much for getting me the equipment needed to make this video. I just don't know how I will ever repay you. Anyway, like and subscribe if you want to, and I will see you in the next video.